Anya, and welcome back to Cozy Room Podcast.
Hey guys, it's Artie. Welcome back to Cozy Room.
Womb, girl.
Womb, girl.
Welcome back to Cozy Room Podcast. This is season 18, episode 4, How I Choose to Show Up. Each generation has different reasons for why they couldn't show up for their kids. My goal is to figure out how I could be in spaces that my parents weren't able to be for me. And I think every generation, time gets really fast. Life gets really demanding, but it shouldn't remove how you prioritize your kids. And we have to remember that each generation may have did the best that they could, or sometimes our parents don't try because it's just easier not to try. But at the same time, as you get older and they want to pop up, it's a complete disconnect because your child has spent so many years being their own parent to themselves when they shouldn't have to do double work in order to get through their childhood, get through their preteens, get through high school, get through college. And a lot of those kids who had to show up in a dual way have a very hard time asking for help as adults and allowing people to show up for them because they feel like, oh, I've been doing it by myself for so long. Let me do it. And sometimes it can get exhausting when someone really wants to build a relationship with someone who doesn't know that you don't have to do it by yourself anymore. You have someone who genuinely wants to do life with you. Why are you doing my work and your work? Okay, so that's what I want to get into today. So welcome to Cozy Room Podcast. Hey guys, I hope that you're enjoying the show. This is Cozy Room Podcast, and I just want to let you know that there is show merch. Where? Cozy Room Shop with Teespring. And don't forget to check out the podcast books on lulu.com. Now back to the show. Thank you for tuning in to this one woman show, one woman podcast. My name is Shan, and I am the mom of the girls. And if you would like to know more about me and these podcasts, check out shanbpoddin.com and my TikTok. Okay, y'all, it is Table Topics time. Table Topics is a brand that creates cards for conversation and discussion. The set that I have is called Do It Yourself Therapy, and I'm going to pick a card to discuss out loud with you guys. I'm going to pick 2 cards. So, one card says, when you thought you were just being paranoid and found out you weren't? Ooh. When I had a neighbor across the hall when we lived in Maryland and he was a pedophile. Like, you know how people give you like a weird vibe or like a weird feeling where their niceness is not backed by niceness is backed by, I'm trying to lure you in so you can trust me. It was that. It's like, you ever wake up one day and on your way to work or on your way to school, you just hope that that teacher's out for the day, or you hope that person didn't come to work, and you find out your favorite manager is not working today, that this manager is working double shifts. Is that? So yes, I was correct. Second question. Are you a better talker or a listener? I feel like I'm both, but I'm a better listener to people that I am not sure about yet, and I'm a better talker to people I'm super comfortable with, if that makes sense. All right, those are the 2 questions. I will check you guys next time.
Here we go.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
First, and for the most part, don't make promises you can't keep to kids, especially ones who have the greatest memory on earth. They remember what hurt them the most, and they remember what made them feel their best. All of the things in between, they may not remember the details of. So for the most part, I feel like that's why the parent that really showed up and made a way and, you know, maybe worked multiple jobs and provided a healthy lifestyle doesn't get enough credit compared to that parent that just showed up a couple of weekends in 6 months, showed up on that one birthday, that one time. And your kid always points out, oh, they did this, they did that, they did this. But the reality is the parent that has consistently made their lifestyle the most normal doesn't get gratitude as much as the one that did not show up so much, because there is a vivid difference. And it's not until your kids get older where they realize.
Mike Rowe here with a radical idea. If you want to see more companies make more things in this country, buy more things from more companies who make things in this country. I refer in this case to the incredible t-shirts, sweatshirts, blue jeans, and more made by my friends at American Giant. Everything American Giant makes is made in the United States. And right now, you can take 20% off your first order at american-giant.com/Mike. That's american-giant.com/Mike.
What's the easiest choice you can make? Window instead of middle seat? Picking a vendor who sends a great gift basket? Outsourcing business tasks you hate? What about selling with Shopify? Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/try. Go to shopify.com/try now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/try.
Oh, you was doing the bare minimum. And, you know, my dad was doing all of this by himself. He was showing up every day. He was making sure, you know, every time he moved, it got better than the last place and all of that. So you have to remember that even when you feel like you're doing more than the other parent, or, you know, you're in a marriage where it's not a team effort, your child will grow up and realize who really showed up. And the more time you spend with your kids, the more they will value you. When kids honestly feel understood, heard, protected, and seen, they are a lot more outgoing. And that's important to remember, because we have to invest in our kids' emotional intelligence. Technology is making people more disconnected. You know, how do you let the kids know you're proud of who they are when they don't win? I think it's very easy to tell your children that you're proud of them when they do win, when they do get awards, when they do get praised by other people. But it's very hard to consistently make sure you praise your kid on the small things. Okay? It's hard to be a kid and only hear that, you know, I'm very proud of my son, I'm very proud of my daughter, when your parents are talking to other people. And the only time you hear sometimes when your parents are proud of you is when they're talking to other people, and it shouldn't be that way. A lot of kids need their praise face to face and directly. They need it on a weekly basis instead of just on their birthday, instead of just because they won that tournament. They need it more than, you know, Mom, I got this award from school today, on my reading, on my spelling, on my math. You should always be the first person to know that your child is improving in math. Your child is improving in reading. And it's those little things where the kids start to feel like, okay, my mom or my dad won't acknowledge me unless they acknowledge me, unless they tell me I'm great. When the reality is your child should leave your house every day knowing that they are great. Could they be better? Yes. But society shouldn't be the first few people to tell your child that they're great, because then your child will have this double life that they start creating, where they start performing for the world and muting themselves for you, or making themselves feel small for you because they feel like you don't care about that stuff. You don't acknowledge that stuff. And so there has to be an open, loud connection in the small things that your child do, your children does in the household. Or, I saw that you stepped in front of the door so your sister didn't hit her head. Thank you for doing that. I noticed. Or I saw that you stepped in front of, this other little child that was going to go in the street. I saw that you did that. I think that was helpful. Or I saw that you helped that old lady with her groceries when one was falling out the bag. If those little things go unnoticed long enough, that person, that child, will stop doing the little things that count, will stop doing the little things that matter. And it's parental validation that has a lot of adults struggling and trying to get validation from getting their body done. Let me get the Corvette that I can't afford. Let me get the BMW that I can't afford. Let me wear the clothes that's revealing so I could get that attention. And if you don't catch it early, it just snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. And girls and boys need to know the importance of self-worth. That's where it starts. Because if you understand your self-worth, you don't have to put on a performance for anybody on how great you are. Do your kids know that it's okay to mess up? Do your kids know how to deal with messing up? Do your kids know how to deal with not being picked, or not being first, or not being appreciated? Do your kids give up easily? Why do your kids give up easily? What do your kids think about themselves? Okay. Do your kids know what's fictional about what they see on the internet? Do they know what's actual? Okay. The self-esteem part, it's their personal job to think that they are great, they are worthy, they are enough. It's not your job, it's not society's job. Nobody can tell and make your child feel like they are worth it with self-respect and self-esteem except them. So kids who don't build up the right amount of self-esteem get taught by other people who don't care about their well-being what they're worth. And that starts at home. And if your kid ever experienced trauma through physical, mental, emotional, or sexual abuse, they need 10 times of a pouring than other kids, because they are walking around carrying the comfort of many people for many different reasons, because they don't want to shift what this person may think about that person because this happened. And to walk around trying to make sure everybody's comfortable and, there's no conversation being had that makes somebody feel uneasy. You're going to carry this burden. You're going to carry this heaviness. You're going to carry this weight of everybody else's happiness. And it gets really frustrating the older your child gets and doesn't get to put that down. So single parents who don't have the proper level of co-parenting effort, given usually have a child struggling with self-worth because one parent isn't bonding or spending enough time with that child, so they always feel lopsided. And if that child is around another child that has both parents, jealousy, envy, and hate, and this need to take something that they have because they have more than enough because I don't have that, will set in. And so instead of your child walk around with that thinking and not express it, you have to be the one to ask them, what's wrong? How do you feel? Does this bother you? Does that bother you? Why is your mood changing? You know, all of that. Like for me as a mom where I have two daughters, different dads, one dad really shows up for his daughter and spends the time, and I don't have to be on top of him about what she needs and, you know, when are you going to be here and all of that. I don't have, it's not no micromanaging on that because he understands, like, she lives with me, she goes to school with me Monday through Friday. Your clock in with her is checking in throughout the week, calling, seeing her on FaceTime, and making sure you get her on Friday, Saturday, and you bring her back Sunday in time for her to eat, take a bath, and get ready for bed. And I don't have to keep saying that. It's just consistent. And then I have, you know, my other daughter's dad, who she's 9 years old and has yet to understand that this is what a father role is. This is how you show up. This is how you prioritize. This is how you stay consistent, which makes me question, who are your friends? Who are you having conversations with that are telling you the way that you are maneuvering as a man is correct? The way that you are fathering as a man is correct. And what is the blockage that's not allowing you to see that the way that you've been thinking in your mindset and the way that you've been moving for 9 years is not working? And sometimes this is how you can do this cannot come from me, because when it comes from me, it's automatically wrong. It has to be someone within his circle that is not me, that is not related to me, telling him, hey, she's not saying that you shouldn't see her. She's not saying that you shouldn't have the time. She's saying spending time with Anya is more than jumping with her at Sky Zone. It's more than going out for pizza one day out of a whole month. It's more than, you know, making cupcakes with her on a Saturday and making sure her mom drives 45 minutes to come pick her up on Sunday. It's more than that. Like, most of what goes into making a child have a good life is the things that go unsaid and unseen. It's how I show up and make sure she has clean clothes, she has a house, I paid all the utilities, I can get her safely from point A to point B. If she's sick, I can take her to the doctor. And those things is oblivious to him. And I can't be the one to explain to him there's more that goes into taking care of Anya. And sometimes the self-worth part gets lopsided with her because I didn't pick Anya's dad because I felt like he was going to be a great dad. I was just in a space where I was grieving the loss of my grandfather, and I had recently broke up with someone that I felt like I was building a lifestyle with, of how I would want my life to play out. And it's just done. And I was like, there's no way I'm investing 2 to 3 more years in someone for it to possibly be a no. And there was nothing else in my life going correct. And I just felt like I needed to do something to keep my mind off of all that's not working. I need to not care for a while. And that was bad decision making on my part. And I felt like, because I've always had the mentality of making it work and doing the best by myself, I could do it. But at the same time, I put in the ingredients to possibly allow my child to have a lopsided relationship with someone who didn't even correctly show up for himself. And I think a lot of parents have too much ego and pride not to admit, I made a decision for myself that affected someone else, which is why this is what I'm dealing with today. And how I show up for my kids matters to me because I know what it's like to mourn a living parent who won't try. Okay? We have a world filled with brokenness and broken people. And the way that we make sure your children know that they are worthy already is showing them real, transparent love and showing them that you have to give what you can with the best effort that you have. And your experiences can also help or hurt a child if they've been misguided. And that's why it's always important for you as a parent to do your work and continuously do your work. Because what may have worked for you as a kid may not work for your kids. Because your kids are not just you, they are you and someone else. And you got to be everything you've been teaching your kid. Because they will call you out if you lie about them being better and you're not trying. And that is why parenting is always constant work. And that is why you're constantly trying to create this great relationship with a human being you help create. And it's constant. And if it's not constant, and if you're not learning new things as they get older, you're failing them in an area that you're not pouring into because, you know, maybe you're tired, maybe you're exhausted, maybe you just need a break. But taking a break and watching your child come in and out of your house and you not talk to your child and you just know that, oh, I think they went in their room today. Oh, I think they took a shower today. Oh, the food is in the kitchen. I don't know if they ate today. They didn't ask me if I could cook something. They know how to cook something. I'm sure there are 35-year-olds who do not know how to cook for themselves. There are men who do not know how to do their own laundry because their mom wouldn't stop doing it. There are women who not even out their parents' house. There are women who are in college who are searching for a rich man to be in a relationship with so they can have a reason to move out their parents' house and move into his home and have enough money to pay someone to do what my parents did. So they never learn how to adult because someone was always doing it for them or they had the money to pay someone else to do it. And that is the society that we live in today. And all the foundation depends on how you show up for your kids. And so I think parents need to show up more. I appreciate how dads are showing up more. There's more dads taking on their father role outside of just working and paying bills. There's more dads on field trips. There's more dads staying at home with kids. There's more dads making bottles at night while a mom sleeps. There's more dads taking their kids to school. There's more dads riding bikes and skateboarding with their kids. And there's more families that are multicultural, adopting a baby that is not their ethnicity and exposing them to a different side of life, a different way of living. And I like that. I think that's opening the door to bridge a gap where people feel like, oh, my family is this, we grew up this way. We don't need to be knowledgeable about what your culture is, how you grew up, what your needs are, and why y'all do what y'all do. I think multicultural families growing will kill a lot of ignorance. And if that's where life is headed, I am all for it. I think respecting other cultures comes with being exposed to other cultures, and how you show up for your kids is being honest and being open and talking about things that may make you uncomfortable, and talking about things that were not addressed with you as a kid that you feel like at their age you had that question, and your kids might have a question that they're scared to ask you because they don't know if you want to talk about it. So you might as well talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, they're going to ask somebody else that may not know what you know and may guide them in the wrong direction. My name is Shan. This is Cozy Womb Podcast. We all have to keep growing to make sure our kids keep knowing what they can do, what they're capable of, and where they can go. Thank you for listening to Cozy Womb Podcast. If you would like to donate to the podcast, you can in the link for the show notes. Don't be a stranger. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on IG. And you can always email me at cozywombmama@gmail.com. If you have any product or things that can help parents, learning tools, books that you would like to promote, I have no problem providing you a space to promote that here on Cozy Womb Podcast. I drop every Monday. It is a weekly podcast, and I'll be open to it. Just email me. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.